Hello, aspiring Java developers. Welcome to our 5-minute whiteboard tutorial on Java Lambda Expressions. I am so excited to guide you through this fascinating topic. Lambda expressions, introduced in Java 8, are a powerful feature that brings functional programming concepts into Java. They allow us to write more concise, readable, and flexible code, especially when dealing with single-method interfaces. Think of them as a shortcut to implement interfaces with just one abstract method. In this tutorial, we will explore what Lambda expressions are, understand their underlying concept of functional interfaces, learn their syntax, see practical examples, and discuss some common mistakes to avoid. By the end, you will be ready to start using Lambdas in your own Java projects. Let's dive in. Before we jump into Lambda expressions themselves, we must first understand their foundation, functional interfaces. A functional interface is simply an interface that has exactly one abstract method. That's it. It can have other default or static methods, but only one abstract method. Java provides a special annotation at functional interface which you can use to mark such interfaces. This annotation helps the compiler ensure that your interface indeed meets the criteria. For example, the runnable interface, which has a single run method, is a functional interface. When you use a Lambda expression, you are essentially providing an implementation for that single abstract method of a functional interface. It's like a contract that says, "Hey, I'm going to give you the code for this one method right here, right now." Let's look at an example. Now that we understand functional interfaces, let's explore the elegant syntax of Lambda expressions. Traditionally, to implement a functional interface, we would use an anonymous inner class. This often involved a lot of boilerplate code. A Lambda expression simplifies this significantly. The basic syntax is parameters, body. The parameters part lists the input arguments for the abstract method. The dash is the Lambda operator, which separates the parameters from the body. And the body contains the code that implements the method. If there is only one parameter, you can omit the parentheses around it. If the body is a single expression, you can omit the curly braces and the return keyword. This conciseness is what makes Lambdas so powerful and readable. Let's see a side-by-side comparison. Let's put our knowledge into practice with a common scenario, sorting a list of objects. Imagine we have a list of product objects, each with a name and a price. We want to sort this list by price. Traditionally, we would create an anonymous inner class that implements the comparator functional interface and override its compare method. This works, but it's quite verbose. With Lambda expressions, we can achieve the same result in a much more compact way. We simply pass a Lambda expression directly to the sort method, providing the logic for comparing two products. The Lambda takes two product objects as parameters and returns an integer indicating their relative order. Notice how clean and expressive the code becomes. This is where the power of Lambdas truly shines, making our code much easier to read and maintain. While Lambda expressions are fantastic, it's important to be aware of some common mistakes and best practices. A frequent mistake beginners make is trying to use lambdas with interfaces that are not functional interfaces, meaning they have more than one abstract method. Remember, lambdas only work with functional interfaces. Another pitfall is making lambdas too complex or long. If your lambda body becomes too large, it defeats the purpose of conciseness and readability. In such cases, it's better to extract the logic into a separate, well-named method. For best practices, always strive for short, clear lambdas. Consider using method references, which are an even more compact form of lambdas for existing methods. Also, remember that lambdas can access final or effectively final local variables from their enclosing scope. Keep these tips in mind to write effective and maintainable lambda code. Alright, my friends, we have covered a lot in just 5 minutes. Let's quickly recap what we have learned about Java Lambda Expressions. We started by understanding that lambdas are a concise way to represent an instance of a functional interface, which is an interface with a single abstract method. We then explored the simple yet powerful syntax parameters, body. We saw how lambdas drastically reduce boilerplate code compared to anonymous inner classes, making our code more readable and easier to maintain, especially in scenarios like sorting collections. Finally, we discussed important tips, like ensuring your lambda targets a functional interface and keeping your lambda bodies short and focused. Now it's your turn to practice. The more you use them, the more natural they will become. If you found this tutorial helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more Java programming insights. Happy coding!